Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Playoffs and Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchy clocking in here. As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalt. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the show.
Woo! Look, I don't know if it was the combination of the Philadelphia Eagles being really good and the Cowboys being really bad, but you took down Big D in Dallas, and for the first time in an extremely long time, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I think confidently say we are going to sweep the Cowboys this year. They come to our house. We play them on the 29th of December. I'll be at that game. That game should probably still have meaning, probably still have playoff implications. And Cowboys fans that are watching, the ones out there, let us know in the comments if you guys are out there, if you guys are alive, what you're doing. Yeah, Cowboys suck. They're like the new Browns or Jets of the NFL. I don't know. How are you going to? They look awful.
Yeah, no, that was not a good game at all for the Eagles. Yes, we won 34-6, but at the same time, Jalen Hurts had 2 turnovers. He had a pick and he had a fumble. We should not be doing that. Granted, Micah Parsons was back, so that's kind of like a factor. But that game was sloppy. That score is, I think we played a lot worse than what the score projects. And we need to tie it down because we'll talk about it later in the show. But we got the Commanders on Thursday. So, and I obviously the Commanders are a lot better than the Cowboys. So I think we need to kind of refocus on a short week and kind of get those turnovers, out of here. Granted, we scored in the first quarter again. But great win overall. But I wouldn't say it was a great game by the Eagles.
Yeah, there's definitely things that the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, can work on. Jalen Hurts having a not bad day overall, 202 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, an interception, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 115 passer rating. But we will get into all of that and a ton more. Going to also talk about Dallas Goedert's great game. The defense looking extremely prepared now for what's been 5 weeks in a row. They've really carried this win streak. Cooper DeJean really evolving like a Pokemon in front of our eyes. I hope you guys like that one. That's a Dalton Holland original right there. AJ Brown looking extremely sharp. Randy, we appreciate you for joining. I don't know why it calls you a Facebook user. I'm looking at you on Facebook right now, but we appreciate you, man. Gonna get to some call-in, so if anybody wants to call into the show, let us know. We can maybe arrange that. We do have one already lined up, but we might be able to take another. And then we're going to also preview this Washington game. But, Jack, go ahead and take it first. I mean, things to work on, but why don't you go ahead and focus on some of the good first?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts had, 2 rushing touchdowns. The pass game really wasn't there today. But, he had a nice dot to A.J. Brown. I think at least once a game, Jalen Hurts goes deep to either Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown and mixed completion. But, he played I really can't really. He had a sloppy game today. And I love Jalen Hurts. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in Philadelphia Eagles history, but he held on the ball too much today. He didn't run out of the pocket when he needed to. And that was in the first half. He kind of worked on that in the second half. But he's going to need to play a way better game against these Commanders coming up. But all in all, 202 passing yards that is an all-time low for Jalen Hurts this season. He averages around 225, 230 this season especially. But, I mean, it is great to see Jalen Hurts after he fumbled the ball to kind of locking on the sideline and come back and score. That was a huge play. He had a great pass to Johnny Wilson. Stepped up in the pocket when needed to, threw the ball to Johnny Wilson, scored a touchdown. But yeah, I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts playing well this season, but this is one game that I can say he didn't play the greatest. He didn't make the greatest decisions this season. But all in all, still good game from Jalen Hurts this today.
It's wild that a game when Jalen Hurts has 115 passer rating, and you're right, for this season, that's kind of been a downtrend for him. But 202 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, an interception. That interception was not good. And then 2 rushing touchdowns. There were some decisions, and shout out to my boy once again, Broad Street Reports, and he highlighted this, saying that there were just a lot of questionable decisions. Things that I was watching the game and I was like, this guy's a dumbass. Like, what are we doing? And it felt like there were flashes of the Jalen Hurts that we've known for the past 4 weeks. And then there were flashes of the Jalen Hurts that we knew before the bye. And that was all kind of mixed in today. Thankfully, the Eagles played a really bad team. And I think that every time that they needed the wishbone to go their way, it went their way. So that helps them out for sure, too. You look at what they did as a whole, though. I mean, Jalen Hurts' confidence, it all starts with Dallas Goedert coming back. That's been his safety, blanket for as soon as he's came in the league. He's been somebody that Jalen Hurts can trust. And him being out, look, Calcaterra is a great player, and he trusts Calcaterra going to college with Calcaterra. But ever since Goddard's back in, ever since Goddard's in this roster, Goedert is a real game changer. You saw it today. Goedert just takes candy away from kids, basically, for that football. He looks so good out there. His route running is so crisp, so good for a tight end. So having this guy back finally from injury, I think makes such a difference. And even when he's not catching the ball, he's one of those players like A.J. Brown, like Devontae Smith, that just having him on the field for the fear decoy option just matters. So great to see.
Yeah, I mean, it is great to see Dallas Goedert play a really good game against Dallas in Dallas. He had, I didn't know this until today. I thought this was his only touchdown this season. But yeah, I mean, he's that safety valve, that check down player that we need to work, throw the ball to. I mean, Calcaterra and Jack Stoll, they're good players, but I feel there's more. You can sense the confidence boost between Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert, having that safety valve when we need to check down. So it really is nice seeing Dallas Goedert back. I don't know how many. I think he only had like 30-some yards and 1 touchdown. But I mean, he's playing well. He showed up when we needed him to. But yeah, I mean, I'm truly excited, with Dallas Goedert back to see what he can do and play to play the rest of the season. I mean, he's going to have to be a big player against the Commanders this upcoming game. But yeah, it's nice to see him get a touchdown on the game back. So it really goes to show how much of an asset he is to this team.
He is. He's such an asset. I mean, he's a real game changer. Thank you for highlighting that. I know we got 27 of you guys right now on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, don't be shy to comment. Don't be shy to retweet, like the video. All those little things really help us. If you're watching on YouTube and you're new, drop a subscription. My name is Dalton. This is Jack. We're covering the Eagles for you guys every week here on the post game. But pivoting now into our next topic. Look, I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. When Vic Fangio first came to this team, I know that I wasn't the biggest, fan of it. I know Jack wasn't the biggest fan of it. I know everybody on the podcast wasn't. My main reasoning was of the age gap. I thought, okay, Vic Fangio has a really good resume, but I just don't know if he still has it. And for the past 5 weeks, and you get a little bit of a pass when you first come to a new franchise, a new organization. You got to figure it out. You got to figure out the players. You got to figure out what you have in talent in them, all of those good things. Vic's figured it out. Like, he has a recipe. And whatever he's saying to these guys every week, the defense is coming out in tune. 146 total yards for the Dallas offense and five, my friends, total turnovers for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. That's tied for the most ever turnovers for the Philadelphia Eagles at an away game at Dallas. So I'm extremely impressed. And I know that it's like beating up on inferior teams, but you can't blame the Eagles for the way that their schedule was placed. And they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're looking really good. They're looking really sharp, like Shardy said. I actually thought Quinyon Mitchell was going to have a pick today. That was my hot take this week on the podcast. He looks great. I mean, the way that he just shoves and like, he's not just a coverage corner. That's the beautiful thing about Quinyon Mitchell. That play today was beautiful, of where it's just like awareness. And he's like, cool, I don't need to do anything fancy except make sure you're out of bounds and your 2 feet are not going to touch down. Perfect. Like, he doesn't get fancy with it. He does what he's supposed to do. He is a real technician when it comes to the cornerback position. And I think that starts with his defensive coordinator too. So Vic Fangio, props to you, power to you. You have these guys looking really sharp out there.
Yeah, no, Vic Fangio, you know, like fine wine, ages well as the season goes on. I mean, we had some key plays, key takeaways of this game with the defense. When we threw that, when we had that fumble that the Cowboys recovered, we held them to a field goal. So that was huge. The defense showed up, pushed them back when we needed to. So this defense, and I wasn't too worried about Vic Fangio going into this season. I kind of was expecting a lot more out of him, but I mean, he has definitely full circle and has improved this defense drastically. Like I said, it takes some time for the players to get used to a new defensive coordinator. So I think that's why there was a kind of, not really a disconnect, but we saw our defense struggling early on in the season because we only had Vic Fangio, you know, for a short period of time. So yeah, Quinyon Mitchell, I mean, had a great heads up play where he, you know, made sure his feet wouldn't get down. Cooper DeJean is constantly showing up when we need him, has had some big plays. Oh, and hey, Dennis, I think there was a fumble recovery that was from Reed Blankenship. And we almost, you know, that's when we put in our homeboy, Kenny Pickett. So, yeah, so Cooper DeJean or oh, that's interesting. Josh showed me this stat. This is the first time since 1949, right, that the Eagles have won 3 road games in a row by 20 points. Anyway,
Wow.
so that's huge. Blankenship showed up today. Obviously, he is a key player to this defense. So all this bullshit that Dennis is talking about, my boy, needs to stop. But yeah, this defense looked really good. And hey, granted, the Cowboys were injured today, but I think we held CeeDee Lamb to, I think, 30 yards receiving. I think the leading receiver on that team was Jake Ferguson, which is usually Dallas, or it's typically CeeDee Lamb. So that was huge. So I mean, it just shows us that each and every game this defense is showing up when we need them most. So that's awesome for us.
And if you want to talk about somebody, like you said, I'm looking at some of his stats. Cooper DeJean, man, I mean, he's done a lot of things for this team that it's been insane. Him, Quinyon Mitchell, who we just talked about, who I just elaborated on. And then when you look at Cooper DeJean, the two of them, it's just really absurd that everybody in the draft really slept on both these guys. Because I remember Quinyon Mitchell coming out of Toledo. We were like, okay, Toledo, you know, a lot of people wanted the Alabama corner. You know, people are like, okay, you need an Alabama corner. You need a big program guy, this, that, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. You needed a smaller program guy, kind of like Sauce Gardner, who went to Cincinnati. So you look at Quinyon Mitchell, he's evolved. You look at Cooper DeJean, and the two of them are very different, but very similar in the same way that they play. But look, Coop is that guy that's like his instincts and his tackling have improved so much since the bye. And he just looks like instinct is the best word I can think of to describe it. I don't know what you would use to describe it, but he has just such good football instincts. And it feels like when Cooper DeJean is needed to make a football play, he makes a football play. And that's exactly what he said coming into the season. He said, hey, I am a football player. I'm not a, slot corner. I'm not a outside corner. I'm not a safety. I am a football player. Whatever the team needs me to do, I'll do it.
So Dalton, when you are in your dynasty in college football 2025, and you have to recruit players for your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a spot that says athletic, and that's what to me is the definition of Cooper DeJean.
Mm-hmm.
He is an athletic player. We saw him have that great return for the punt. So this guy is a versatile player, and he did these big things in Iowa. And it is showing that, these were I would say in the last couple years, these were the greatest draft picks these Eagles have had since I don't know when, but these draft picks are showing up when we need them most. So it's great to see that. Cooper DeJean is playing out of his mind today or lately, and it's kind of what we all cranked it up to be. Seeing him play like this is just, makes me smile.
It is nice to see how he's kind of evolved, because the start to this season was so rocky at that 2-2. There was so much uncertainty for the team, the way that this season would go. And they didn't just win one. They didn't just win two. They didn't just win three. It's almost like fucking the Costco guys and Big Justice, Big AJ. I'll give them 5 big booms, a 5 big win streak for our Philadelphia Eagles. And look, they look muscular out there. I mean, they look sharp. AJ Brown, same thing. Even when he's not getting in the end zone, 5 receptions, 109 yards. That's a healthy day. That's a pretty good day for a wideout. Ain't no wideout going to be complaining that they're not getting the ball at that. And there's that uncertainty, too, with people saying, oh, A.J. Brown's injury, he didn't look injured today. I think that the Eagles are kind of trying to do what the Sixers are doing a bad job of masking that they're trying to do, which is keeping their guys healthy for the end of the season because they have such a shitty schedule. At least I hope that they do that with A.J. Brown. But, man, A.J. Brown looks sharp today. I mean, there's not a time that he doesn't, but he looked really, really good today.
Yeah, I mean, A.J. Brown, he is an asset for this team as well as Dallas Goedert. He didn't really have that many yards today, but he had that big play, that deep ball thrown by Jalen Hurts. That's what A.J. Brown is, and that's why he is one of the greatest receivers to be on this Eagles team. And we have the wide receiver tandem in Devontae Smith and him. Again, we didn't really go to Devontae Smith that much today, which I don't know what we're doing. But we have these two greatest receivers, probably top 5 tandem in the league. And we didn't really utilize them today. We didn't really need to. But A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith is just, seeing them play well makes every fan a lot happier, So that's all I got to say. It's definitely a great win. I think this is the first time in 3-4 years, 2017. So what is that? 7 years that the Eagles beat the Cowboys at home. So anyway,
and what What happened in 2017 again? Could you refresh me?
I think 2017. We were in college, and I
Mm,
think there was maybe a parade or something like that that
some
happened
shit.
on
A parade
Broad
with a lot
Street.
of green,
Yes,
right?
something like that. Free beers being thrown at us. Yeah, we won the Super Bowl. So I mean, well, this team I think is ready for the Super Bowl. I mean, Tony Romo said that if the Cowboys don't win today, their season's cooked. So we don't have to worry about the Cowboys anymore.
And speaking of sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna bring in Will if you wanted to bring him in.
Oh, I was going to say, speaking of a Tony Romo quote, and then, yeah, we're going to get to our call-ins here in a second. Tony Romo had a great quote about once your team gets to 10 wins, your team's rolling. Your team starts getting that confidence, starts feeling like, look, what, you don't want to give Tony Romo credit?
No, I don't want to say there's 10 wins because that happened last season. What happened? We
All
fucking
right,
folded.
I'll say this. Look, the Eagles have kind of adversity. It wasn't like last year where they rolled just from the start. They kind of sucked in the beginning a little bit there. They had that fall off. I think once they get to 10 wins early, because it would be an 8-game win streak, or whatever happens on Thursday, which we'll preview here in a second for you guys too after our call-ins. It could really matter, but they look good. But hey, like Jack said, let's go ahead and get to our call-ins. We are bringing a long-time friend of 302 Birds in with us. Will, how you doing? I'm loving the flag in the back. Hopefully we bring
Thank
another
you.
one of them home.
I know, man. I'm doing great. I'm feeling awesome, hyped about this win, and just it was really, really well needed for today.
Yeah, it
And I,
was well needed. So how are you feeling about like this Dallas team? Do you think that they are really bad, or do you think that we're really good, or kind of like I said in the beginning, a combination of the two?
it's a combination. I know they're kind of dealing with like, I know they had like the contract with like CD and Dak this year, and then like now they're not really proving it out there. They had some pretty bad losses, including today, and now you're tagging on the injuries, and just it's kind of like leading up the whole thing up to the ladder of the front office. So it's just a lot of things, but at the same time, I really feel like since the bye, like even though we had a close win against Cleveland and then like the Giants, the Bengals, we're really starting to click offensively and defensively, which is great that it's happening now instead of like later in the season where we got to like really try to like push for playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well said. How are you feeling about like expectations this year? Do you think that the Eagles like have that like I want to say this because some people, and I get it, Jack, they want to say, don't talk about the Super Bowl until we get to there. You know what I mean? And that's a fair statement. But you got to be able to fairly talk about it with this team. I mean, I think it's almost like a respect thing. The way that they've played, they do deserve to be in that conversation. Do you
100%.
think that they have that, kind of extra push that they can make this year?
I think so. I mean, we've seen like, um, you know, I go back to the Bengals game 2 weeks ago. Like they were a really talented team across the board, but the Eagles went in, they, held Jamar Chase like to, a less than productive day, and they got to Burrow, they forced the turnovers, which is now they're doing consistently. I mean, yet again, the Jaguars game was, kind of ugly towards the end, but we pulled it out. And then today, just like across the board, it was a little bit close to the beginning, but then some like halfway through the second quarter just opened up for us with I think we got 5 turnovers, and just like
Yep.
Saquon's running efficiently, everyone's catching, everything's Jalen's throwing at them, and it's really great to see.
5 turnovers, man. I mean, anytime that you're going to do that is insane. There's a lot of parallels to today, to 2017, some of the Eagles' best. Jack, do you have any questions for Will? Well, we got him.
Yeah, I mean, I think moving from here on out, do you think these next games that are must-win games to set us up in a better position for come playoff times?
hmm I would say so because we have obviously a very good Commanders team coming to the link next week,
Mhm.
and I just think if we just keep doing what we're doing, not trying to do too far out the box, we can potentially pull it off. I know we have Baltimore coming up. That's going to be a real challenge because Derrick Henry's like, not stopping at all. I know Lamar's like a very legit quarterback, and we really got to just keep doing our thing offensively and defensively. And I really think we're gonna, you know, make some splashes and surprises around the league. Like I think back to last year when we went into Kansas City on a Monday night. It was pouring rain. They were red hot, and we came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, so we got the Commanders, we got the Rams. The Rams are on a hot streak. We got the Ravens. So we have the Ravens in technically 2.5, 3 weeks, and then Panthers and then Steelers. So like that Panthers game is probably hopefully the easiest game. But yeah, these games, these next couple of games are going to be tough. And I mean, if we played today, those next 3 games, I got a little, that's not giving me much confidence at all.
Mm,
So I mean, I definitely think that these are some key games we need to win.
100%.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank you for sharing your passion. Will you be at any games upcoming? Are you?
I'm gonna. I don't have any more tickets, but I'm gonna try to maybe come to the Dallas tailgate. I have a family conflict I'm trying to get out of because it's not like super important, but I would love to come down to tailgate, spend some time with you, and then hopefully get another win. See, we'll punch our ticket to the playoffs this year.
It'll be better than the last tailgate. I will promise you that. I can promise you that with all the drama that we had there at that Falcons tailgate, that was a whole bunch of fun. But hey,
Yeah, it was short, but you put on a good tailgate, man. Of
hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope to see you soon. And yeah,
course.
if you're at that Dallas tailgate, please let me know because I might have some food too. My dad will be there, and I think I'm gonna try to convince BG to go, Jack too, just to the tailgate. Maybe if you guys go, because my dad will be there cooking, so he's excited for that.
All right, awesome.
See you, man.
All right, peace out.
Take care.
See you,
All
Will.
right, guys. Our next guest is somebody that's actually somebody pretty high up in the Cowboys organization. And that's somebody that is probably going to be a little bit pissy pants right now. Well, why don't I just go ahead and bring him in? But yeah, guys, we got JJ for you. Jerry Jones here.
I honestly don't want to talk to you guys right now. I really can't stand this. Our Dallas Cowboys, we fumbled it and we fumbled it. We fumbled it 5 freaking times. I also fumbled
Fucking
it.
suck.
We really did suck. And honestly, Mike McCarthy's job is on the line right now. All the players are on the line. And I'm just so fed up with this team. They're all going to get trapped in a corner, and I'm just going to tie them up. That's what I'm going to do, Texas style. I've had enough of them boys. Seriously, this is just painful, me being Jerry Jones.
What are you going to do about Dak?
Dak, we're gonna keep on paying him because we believe in his ability to help this team in the future for the Dallas Cowboys. We believe he has the skills to bring us back to the glory days we used to have back when there were VHS tapes and when we used to watch the Super Bowls. And now I just eat from a cereal bowl. So that's what's going to happen. But we believe in Dak, and that's the process we're gonna do, Mr. Holland.
Yeah, Lil D, or I'm sorry, hey Jerry, Big D got Lil D today. I mean, that was an ass whooping.
You Philadelphia pigeons, you guys just came and stomped and shit on us. That's what y'all did to us today. But that's what happened, and I'm very fed up with our team right now.
Yeah, shut the hell up, Jerry. Well, why wait? I want to wait for KJ McCoy to come. If KJ McCoy can come to the post-game show, I'll give him a second to KJ to get a second to beat the shit out of Jerry Jones here. so he can come hang out with us. But that was an insane game, an insane result. Look, my main thing with Jerry Jones is he is such an inferior owner, and I've never been more grateful to have an owner like Jeffrey Lurie when I see the things that Jerry Jones does. Like KJ just made the joke, which was hilarious. Thank you, KJ, for the impression. We appreciate you. But Jerry Jones has literally threatened people's jobs before on the radio who don't agree with him. So it's literally Jerry's world down there. But, I mean, KJ, how are you feeling, sir, about the Dallas ass whooping?
I'm feeling awesome. That was a great win. I really did feel like they woke up. Obviously, the first half there were some problems for sure. It seemed like Jalen was just something was off with him. He's obviously that fumble that happened, or not the fumble, the interception that happened in the end zone. I mean, that was tough to watch Trayvon Diggs just kind of snatching out of our hands like that. But I mean, they made up for it, and the defense stepped up. The defense got they got some fumble recoveries. They got interception, I believe, with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So that was good to see. I mean, they were able to flip the switch, and they were able to take out that Dallas crowd over there. So because they were getting hyped up. They were like, oh my gosh, like when we fumbled that ball, and they were right there, like the 1 yard line. They were like, oh, we're gonna win this game. All the Cowboys fans were like, oh, we got this game. And I literally saw people like in my Discord that were Cowboys fans, and they were just like, yeah, the Cowboys got this. I believe in it and whatever. And then they just went silent. So that was great to see that. Even had some of my family members saying, yeah, we're not going to win crap with Jerry Jones being the owner. And I was like, you realize this now?
Cowboys don't got shit. They don't got shit. And like you said, KJ, you realize this now?
Yeah, I am. Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my house, you bastard. Let the door hit you, seriously.
Now, KJ, I'll ask you the same question that we asked Will.
Yeah.
2017 vibes. You got them? You don't got them?
I think this team's very different. This team's very different than 2017 team. I'm kind of with Jack with this. I don't like to jump the wagon a little bit like Dalt does sometimes. I don't like to jump ahead like that because there's a lot of good teams that right now. There's a lot of teams that are doing successful right now. So I feel like I mean, you see the Commanders. I mean, even though they lost today, they only lost by 1 point. So even though that is like, oh my gosh, we're in the lead right now. We are on top right now, but they lost by 1 point. And so I think that's something you gotta put in your mindset as well. Like there's some decent teams in the NFC. There totally is, and there's some decent teams in the AFC as well. So. Yeah, I wouldn't jump the gun too much, but we do have a good football team. But I noticed though at the first half though we were doing some mistakes, and it kind of felt like it was week 2 again when we were playing the Falcons. It felt like that because when we had some times where we could have obviously capitalized, we didn't do that. But we were able to though in the second half, so we made up for those mistakes. And but I wouldn't say 2017 vibes yet. I mean, heck, I would love to see them get to that vibe, but. I just I agree with Jack on this. Like I think it's a little bit jumping the gun.
I want to try to find here it is. Here's the graphic. I want you guys to check this out though. The Eagles are really starting to heat up at the exact right time, which is late October throughout the whole month of November into December. If they can keep it up throughout this month, I got good vibes. I got good moves. I got good feeling. Look, this was the left that you're seeing, I believe, was 2017. The right was 2022. And then this one was 2024 on the bottom. But you look at how they kind of carried throughout November, like I said, and late October, the following, and then 2022. It was late October throughout early December. If the Eagles can kind of replicate that with this Washington game, I think is going to be one of their tougher games. The Washington game and the Ravens game are going to be the next 2 big tests that the Eagles have. If they can make it out of there, they're going to look really, really good. We'll see. But KJ, if you want to stay on for us for the Washington preview, you're more than welcome. Are you afraid of the Commandos?
No, I'm not afraid of Commandos. I feel like it's going to be a dogfight, though, of a game. I feel like that game is going to actually show if the Eagles can play the way they played in the second half, and they can play the way they played against the Bengals. I think they'll put up a fight with this Washington team. This Washington team is no pushover. Jaden Daniels is no pushover. Terry McLaurin is no pushover. Brian Robinson should be back for them. I think that he did not play today because I had him on fantasy. He did not play today, but he'll probably play when they come on Thursday. So I think the Commanders are no pushover at all, and I think you got to watch them, and you got to honestly, you can't let them take any advantage over you at home. So the only team I hope the last team I've seen the Eagles lose to was the Falcons at home. I hope that's the last one I've seen for the year. But I think this team could be the team that could put up a really good fight. And I mean, they're just good. They're really young, and they just know how to really. I mean, their defense looks pretty solid too. So they got a good young defense. They got some corners. They got some linebackers as well. I mean, they even got some veteran linebackers. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting game. I think so.
Can you reply to this comment, KJ?
Are you afraid to do the Oklahoma drills with Dennis? Never afraid, Dennis. I'm ready to go. I got the helmet and pads. I'm ready.
All right,
old
Jack.
Oklahoma.
I'll let you take the question next. Are you afraid of the Commandos?
Absolutely not. They suck. They are 7-3. They're a terrible team. They are just getting lucky. They haven't had a challenging game at all. PFT from Pardon My Take was saying his wish is for Eagles fans to hate the Commanders, and I just granted his wish because I fucking hate the Commanders because, yes, this is a breakout season for them, but they ain't shit, dude. Dan Quinn's your fucking head coach. He's not a good head coach at all. They had the chance to win it with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they fucking folded. So Jaden Daniels ain't it. I mean, once this team loses to the Eagles, we're going to see a collapse of these Commanders because we are a lot better than the team. On paper, our offensive line is better. Our receivers are better. Our defense is better. Our quarterback's better. And I'm not scared at all. And, Dennis, I will show up anytime to take you on an Oklahoma drill. I will. If you've seen the video of me and Tommy, I ran his ass over, so I will do that to you.
Yeah,
We have to make that a whatever they call it, a sticker or a sound on here because that video is priceless. That video is insane, like Jack said.
And the video on the boardwalk of Jack doing the punch bag thing, the arcade.
Yeah.
That is iconic. Jack getting multiple concussions from it. I mean, he put his head on the line. He really did. I salute you.
For God's sake, I played
We're-
rugby for my whole college, high school and college, so I'll hit anything. But yeah, like I said, and then I'll hop off my soapbox. This team ain't shit. The Commanders are not a good team. Dan Quinn is an average quarterback or average head coach. Jaden Daniels struggled today. So I am not worried one bit at all, which scares me because games that I don't worry about are very close. I don't think it's going to be a wipeout like we did today. But I think the Eagles will get the win, and the Commanders will see what real football is. And, I mean, they saw it today with the Steelers. So I am not worried, and I fucking hate the Commanders.
It's funny that – sorry.
No, I end my case. I'm done.
No, I was going to say get ready to get back on your soapbox because I'm not done with you. I was going to have you say something else. So PFT, Barstool 302 Birds. Let's bring them together right now, Jack. Let's go ahead and do it. Talk your shit to PFT. If you could say one thing to PFT this week, what would you say to PFT, an infamous Commanders fan who we respect? We respect, obviously, PFT, what he does. Pardon My Take, a hilarious show, one of the best, if not the best podcast. But what would you say to him right now?
PFT, you don't know who I am. I am Jack McGuire Dorn. I'll say my full name. I am your hater, and you got your wish. I think the Eagles fans now hate the Commanders as much as the Cowboys. But your team isn't good. Jaden Daniels is having a great year, but he doesn't know what real football is. He saw it today with the Steelers. He's going to see it again with the Eagles. We will run it down your throat. Your D-line is ass. So yeah, I mean, good luck. You thought Lattimore was going to change your defense. They still suck, dude. I'm sorry. Eagles by a million. And this is your downfall, because once these Commanders lose to the Eagles, they will see a collapse like no other. Drop
It's funny.
Mike.
It's funny how you guys all look. I'll say this. I'm with you guys. You guys are both right. The Commanders are not a legit team. I'm not going to consider them legit until they beat a team in the playoffs. When they beat a team in the playoffs, then I will consider the Washington Commandos a legit team. But until they do that, yeah, they suck in my book. The problem with the Commanders, though, is that they beat us before in Philadelphia in November. I think all three of us were at that game, that Thursday night football game in Philadelphia, 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
so.
But here's the thing. There is no backbone, because you guys don't know what team you are. You've changed your name multiple times the past 4 seasons. So you guys aren't a legit franchise at all. And you know how, Josh Harris owns you? Well, fuck that guy, but he's a Philly owner as well. So we own Philadelphia owns you, because you're owned by a Philadelphia owner. So yeah, I'm just tired of this story that, oh my God, the Commanders are so good. This is amazing. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm sick and tired of that. They are a good team. Don't get me wrong. Jane Daniels is a good rookie quarterback. But I don't foresee him, once he gets hit by Nakobe Dean, like Nakobe Dean was laying the lumber today. God damn. Or so it's just, good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck.
Jack, what are your thoughts of that? We are commanders, left hand up. That stupid song.
That thing's stupid as shit. Like I said, anything that comes out of a Commanders, actually bullshit.
Can we go? Can we make a pact right now to go again? Because look, I'll say this. I think technically, not to interrupt you, Jack, but technically, I think the three of us went to which we did already, the Giants game and the Commanders game.
Yep.
And they went to the Super Bowl that year. So maybe that's what we have to do to put the Eagles back in the Super Bowl. Is the three of us need to go. And I think it's December 22nd. Right before Christmas?
22nd. Yep. 22nd.
Here, I'll be right back. You two stall for me.
All I got to say is, I've been on the soapbox pretty much this whole show, but the Commanders, we went to that game, like Dalton said, and we went there, and they have not a legit fan base at all.
A lot of them are bandwagons. They're bandwagons.
Exactly. So all these fans that are coming out of the woodwork now, they aren't real Commanders fans. They're just fans because they're actually winning games. So
and I saw that they actually went to a game and they actually asked people there, and they said, "Oh, who was the quarterback last year?" And they said, "Oh, I just started watching this year. Oh, I just really got into it this year." And they're like our age, maybe even older. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, you guys are just bandwagons. Jumped on the gun, finally got a team now, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be a fan. You're gonna be a fan now. Like, not saying all Commanders fans are like that, but the ones that I've met, and we barely saw any of them. It was invaded by Eagles fans. Invaded.
If we can go on the 22nd, I will wear this shit the whole day. You have my pact on that. I might wear a beanie under it or something. Probably Skelly. Ooh, a Skelly in this would be insane. I look like a little fucking elf fucking around.
What the fuck is a Skelly?
A Skelly is like what Joe Burrow wears. Like you know what I'm talking about? No
idea.
It keeps you warm. I'll send you a picture of one.
Oh, it's those it's what's it called? I forget what the frick it's called. Like those
a Skelly is what it's called.
Ski mask, like a ski mask thing.
Like an under ski mask, like a Nike Pro. It's good for your face. So we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Anyway, I kind of want to watch this Lions game.
All right, let me make my take about the Commandos, and then I'll get you out of here because I do want to watch too. I'm with you. I'll say this: Eagles, Commanders, Thursday night, I think we'll actually be there. So if we're there tailgating, come find us.
Oh,
We will
really?
have a flyer out on our Instagram. Stay tuned. If TickPick hooks us up with some tickets, which I think that they might for my birthday. So thank you to TickPick for that. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the relationship that we have. If you guys haven't, download the TickPick app today. But what I'll say about the Commandos is the Commanders are not a legit team. Like I said, I think that the Eagles should still win this game by at least 10 points. If they don't win by at least 10 points on Thursday night, I'll be a little bit upset. If they don't win, I'm going to be extremely upset. They should win this game. They're better than the Commanders team. It was a blessing that the Commanders won today for the Eagles. I think if the Commanders would have lost to the Steelers, they would have came in with a certain chip on their shoulder that wouldn't have benefited the Eagles. So take advantage of that, Eagles. That's what I'll say. Jack, you want to go ahead and take us out of here?
Yeah. So without further ado, Eagles win, big game for beating the fucking Dallas Cowboys. My cousins in Dallas have not said what, Dalton?
Make sure you guys, I know that make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, all that good shit. If you're new here, there's 53 of you guys in here. That's a lot for a post-game show for us. So we appreciate the hell out of you guys, for real. Go
guys.
Birds. Make sure to subscribe, follow, all the good shit. Take it, Jack.
Yeah, Eagles win 34-6 tonight. Big game, big W. Shut up, my cousins. I mean, like I said last week, this is where we put our foot to the pedal and put that gas all the way down, because these next few games are not going to be easy, and we need to win. We need to win legit next 3 games just to be comfortable. The Commanders ain't shit. I fucking hate the Commanders. You're welcome, PFT. We're going to win by a million. Fuck the Commanders. Fuck Josh Harris. Fuck Jane Daniels.
And fuck the Cowboys.
And fuck the Cowboys. Fuck
Yeah.
Jerry Jones. Without further ado, hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is for you.
Hey, what's up, 302 Birds? I'm Jack. All roads lead through the playoffs in Philly.